guys, my name is Eza and welcome back to my channel. So today this video is going to be me finally reviewing Kapal Terakhir di Dunia episode 2 and episode 3. Yes, I'm doing like these two books in one video because if you follow my journey of reading this book on my Instagram, Eza_reads, link down below by the way, you realize that I finished this book like ages ago. So now I'm actually doing a review on it. I kind of forgot why I hate it. Like I remember it, but that visceral hate isn't there anymore. Like I got over it, you know, I got over the hate. So yeah, I think I left the review like too far because now I cannot for the life of me remember exactly, you know? I can't even remember the plot, to be quite honest with you. I remember bits and pieces, but most of it, I'm just like, I'm over it. Okay, so let's just start with book 2. I'm not going to talk about like the synopsis or whatever. You can check it out on Goodreads and whatever, because to be quite honest with you, I can't remember it. So, moving on. And my review for the second book is the fact that I actually quite like it. It's bearable. I gave this book a rating of 3 out of 5. I feel like compared to the first book, this book really was good. I wouldn't say it's super great. I wouldn't say it's phenomenal. I would say it is an improvement from the first book. And the reason why I say it's an improvement from the first book is because I felt like the pacing is far better in this book as compared to the first book. In the first book, if you see my rant, again, link down below to check it out if you want to. I felt like the first book, the pacing was completely off. It was like 90% world building, and then suddenly the last 10% we're suddenly just shooting through the plot to get shit done, right? But in the second book, I feel like you can properly see there's a start, a climax, and an ending, which is good. Is the plot great? No. But it is far better than what we got in the first book. So I liked that. I liked the pacing of this book. I felt like it was normal. Nothing was too rushed, nothing was too slow. It was normal, which is good because that is what I wanted in the first book. Okay, here. It's according to my notes, because I forgot my review, to be honest with you. According to my notes, I said here there is actual plot progression. Like something happened in the book. They gave me a clear indication of where the plot was going. Like in the first book, I didn't understand what was going on. Not because it was too complex. I just didn't understand why. The why. Like, okay, you're giving me all this world building, but why? Why are you giving me all this world building? Where is the damn plot? You know what I mean? Okay, next is, yeah, I started liking Arya. I didn't hate him too much in the second book. He was okay. I could tolerate him. What else? Although, now reading my notes, although, I have to say he's still stupid because, okay, right, in the first book, his little sister Anna was really pissed off with him, doesn't want to talk with him and shit. And now she's super sick in the second book because of her disease, right? He doesn't even want to go to her. Like, yeah, he wants to see her, he wants to go to her and shit. But the moment Niha was like saying, oh, she doesn't want to see you, boy. And he's like, okay. And I'm like, what do you mean, okay, Arya? Your sister's basically dying. So you're just gonna be like, okay, I'm not gonna see her anymore. I'm just gonna let her rest. She's gonna die anytime. What do you mean? Like, I would just push that bitch Niha out of the fucking way. Get the fuck out, bitch. I wanna see my sister. Something. You know, you say you love her, but it sure doesn't seem like it. So aside from that, I could tolerate him. God, my contact lenses are so dry. Now going to the third book. Even the third book, I almost could tolerate it. Almost. By the way, this is the only book that did not get water damage. I don't know why this trilogy keeps getting water damage. But the third book survived for now. So anyways, like I was saying, I almost could, I wouldn't say tolerate, I almost could actually like the third book. You know why I almost liked the third book? Was because the first half of the book wasn't in Arya's perspective. I was like, thank God. Thank God. I couldn't stand that little son of a bitch. Honestly, I just wanted him to die. But yes, in the third book, we get a perspective from Doha, I think, if I'm not mistaken. We get different perspective. I can't remember her name. But yeah, we get different perspective. We even have a perspective from Vuk. I was thinking his name was Kov, but I was like, no, it's the other way around. Vuk. And his perspective was my favorite part of the story. He should have been the hero of this trilogy, but no, we had to get that dumbass Arya. God damn, I still hate him. Oh my god. The rage, the visceral hate is coming out. I thought I was going to be calm, I was going to be collected, but now talking about it just pisses me off. How stupid he is. Anyways, like I was saying, Vuk was my favorite part of the story. If the whole story was just about damn Vuk, I would have given this series 5 out of 5 because I liked him. And this brings me to the annoyance that I feel because, right, if Teme could write Vuk's perspective, and I love Vuk's perspective, right, I love him, I feel like he has a great hero's arc, he has a good story progression, his story is a bit bittersweet, a bit sad, but you get it, right, you get it, you understand his motivations and everything about him. You know, you understand why he works so hard, because he is the leader of the Matahari whatever rebel group, right? Pakatan Matahari, right? Pakatan Matahari. And you understand why he's the leader, because he wants, like, the Sector Biru to just get out of the shithole that they have been put in by the Manusia Aras Atas. He knows and he smells something is fishy, but he doesn't know what, he doesn't know where, he doesn't know when. He just knows some shit is wrong. And he wants to help his people, and he wants to help the Sector Biru to just be like, hey, something is wrong, I think we need to do something about it. And he did. And I really, really admire that. And like I was saying just now before I got sidetracked, the reason why I was so annoyed with the author Teme Abdullah is because if he could write a really appealing, a really empathetic, a character that I could really empathize, sympathize, like, and root for, why the fuck did he write a character like Arya? He could write good character like Vuk. Why does Arya exist? Is my question. And I'm just so fucking annoyed. I kind of see why. I kind of see why he would write Arya as the main character, which I'm going to talk about after this. But for now, I'm annoyed because I'm like, bitch, you wrote Vuk, who's great, and now I have to go back to Arya's perspective, who is a dumbass. Which, again, like I was saying, first half of the book, great, because we do not get any perspective from Arya. And then we had to go back to Arya's perspective because, duh, he's the hero of the book. Why? I don't know. And the last half of the book, oh my god, it was such a fucking drag. I hated it. I hated every page of it. I hated reading every second of it because I hated Arya. To the core of my being. I hated him. And to make matters worse, I thought the pacing issue that we had in the first book was over with. Like, the first half of this book, the pacing was great because, I'm going to talk about this soon, because it was nice, you get it. Although it was flashback, the first half of the book was a flashback or a perspective from different people of the first book. And then, I'm going to talk about that soon. And then the later half of the book, again, like I was saying, was the perspective of Arya. And the pacing of the last half of the book was all over the place. There was no pacing. I'm pretty sure Teme was like, what is pacing anymore? He just threw pacing out the goddamn window. He took it and he threw it out the window. Threw it out the fucking window. Because I don't know what happened to the later half of the book. It was so fast. I got whiplash, basically. Whiplash. That's all I'm going to say about the pacing. I think I've said enough about the pacing. Let's see. What else? Like I was saying in my dislikes of the notes. Dislike, second half was shit. We go back to Arya's POV and it was frustrating as fuck because he was too reactive. He did not do anything to progress the plot. Pacing was all out of whack because it was too fast. I got whiplash. And it says here that the plot points did not have room to breathe. I mean, yeah, if your pacing is all out of whack and the audience basically has whiplash reading it, you don't let the readers have time to really digest what the fuck is happening, right? Now we're going to talk about the characters. Let's start with my most favorite character of all, Arya. Okay, Arya, I hate him. As you all know, he's a shithead. And why do I hate him? It's because he is number one, a bystander protagonist, aka reactive. He is a reactive character. And I'm going to talk about this now, about him being a reactive character, but let me rant for a bit. Reactive characters in books or movies are not fun to watch or read because you just feel frustrated. Like, why is he being the main character? Unless it's kind of like for comedic effect, you know, then I understand. Like that it's a series called Sick Note, you know. I would categorize him as a reactive character, and he's just like, but then again, you know, he's reacting to everything, but it's funny. It's a dark humor series, so I think it works great. But in terms of like a dystopia type of book, sci-fi-ish, I don't think reactive characters work. And I don't think that Teme Abdullah did his character and his writing justice by making Arya the main character. Because let's be honest, it's boring. Reading reactive characters is boring. Now I'm going to talk about why I think Teme Abdullah chose Arya to be a reactive character. Because let us remember, he wrote Vuk, and I like Vuk. He is the, I would say, traditional hero story in a book, I guess, or dystopia book. So why I think that Teme Abdullah wrote Arya to be reactive is probably because he's trying to reflect us in our current society, in our current life right now. Like you and I, okay, I don't know who I'm talking to, but basically I'm talking about myself, like myself, right? Who am I in the bigger scope of the world, in terms of like politics or like anything else? Can I really affect anything? No, as individuals, you really cannot affect anything or anyone, right? Maybe you can affect like your close family and friends, but can it really make a change? You know, can you really change the whole world basically? If you're doing it on the individual level, you can't. You can only change the world, you can only change people if you have people with you for your cause, right? Which is why I believe that Teme Abdullah is writing Arya to be reactive, because I think he's trying to portray Arya to be kind of like us, you know, a person who's just like trying to live his life and is just getting swept away by the shit that's happening surrounding his life basically. And then what else I want to talk about? Okay, I'm going to talk about the plot and I don't know, I feel like talking about the plot is a bit too hard. But I think I should talk about the plot. No, wait, I'm still talking about the characters. So we have agreed that Arya is shit. He's a reactive character. He's boring. He's not a great main character. Let us talk about the most stupidest character of all, because apparently Arya was not stupid enough. The most stupidest character of all is Vanessa. My god, that bitch was stupid. I swear to god, she probably doesn't even have half a brain cell. Okay, so Vanessa is basically infatuated. I wouldn't say she's in love. She's infatuated with Arya, and she's from Manusia Aras Atas. So she is the only reason that Arya managed to go to Aras Atas, basically. And then he's trying to get used to life, right? Because at Aras Atas, he finally realizes that, hey, the earth is completely fine. The virus doesn't exist. The zombies doesn't exist. Everything is back to normal. But the reason why it's not public knowledge is because Manusia Aras Atas wants to subjugate other humans to be their slaves, so they can live a happier life, basically. And then he's just trying to digest this shit because he's thinking like, oh my god, all my suffering is for nothing. Like, what the fuck is happening? Which, again, I really have to say, come on, man. Come on, Arya. He's so stupid. I could realize he's so stupid. I don't even know what to talk about anymore. But basically, Arya is stupid. He can't even realize that the world is fine. He can't even realize that, maybe you should fake this or fake being nice to Vanessa and be kind of like a double agent or some shit, right? No, he didn't think about it. But yeah, Vanessa, we're talking about Vanessa now. Going to Vanessa, like I was saying, Arya is trying to get used to his new life at Aras Atas. He's trying to get over the shock of knowing that the sun is completely fine. And you're telling me that Vanessa, who's supposedly third or second in command, tells Arya everything. And I mean everything. Every single secret that the Manusia Aras Atas have, and tells it to him when he has only lived there for a week. 7 days. 7 days. So you're telling me that Vanessa thinks 7 days is completely enough to eradicate Arya's past, make him completely forget all of his suffering, his mother dying, everybody dying. You're telling me that Vanessa believes that Aras Atas is so great that Arya is just going to completely forget everything he went through. 7 days. That's just stupid and bad writing. Okay. Now, I think we are ready to go to the plot. I don't know what the plot is trying to tell me, basically. I don't know what the story is trying to tell me. Is it trying to tell me about social issues? Is it trying to tell me about religious issues? Is it trying to tell me that we should do a revolution? Is revolution slow? Is revolution fast? What are you trying to tell me, basically? This is my question to the author. What is your book trying to tell me? Because I feel like it's pretty unfocused right now. At least in my perspective. And I'm the reader. I should get the book. What is the book trying to tell me by the third book, right? I should know what is the themes, what is the plot, what is going on. But by the third book, all I'm seeing is just, what the fuck is going on? What are you trying to say? And talking about the plot and the writing, why does the third book, the first half is a POV from different people of the first book? Why? So basically you're telling me that the first book is a book and a half. And the second book and the third book is what? I'm losing my mind, basically. I'm losing my mind here. I've left this review for too long and I'm losing my mind. Because I'm just thinking why do we have to go back to the first book again we are already going to the third book. I understand that the flashback and the POV of the first book that is in the third book is to show, like, to give answers of why Vuk died, who is the backstabber, etc, etc, etc. But again, my point is, if you're gonna talk about the first book in the third book again, right? Maybe really improve on your writing, really improve on your pacing, because this just proves to me that your pacing has a really, really big issue. It's really problematic, you know? Like, you're giving me the first book in the third book, and it's half of the book again. But then by the time we actually go to the third book and really, like, continue from the story from the second book, there's not much pacing. There's not much, I would say, space or time for you to really conclude the story properly, to really explain it to the audience and the readers how Arya feels, and, you know, the consequence of it, basically. And I'm just, again, who is editing this? Nobody got this? Nobody saw that this trilogy has a pacing problem? This is a really big issue. The first book, the pacing was completely out. The second book was fine. It was okay. But then you come to the third book, and again, the pacing came back. The pacing problem came back again, even worse than the first book. So I'm like, nobody caught this. Nobody saw that, hey, this trilogy has a pacing problem. Is there any way that we can fix this, basically? I'm losing my mind, honestly. I am losing my mind. So, yeah. And then the next thing I'm going to talk about is, what the fuck was the ending, okay? Literally, my notes here says, what the fuck was the ending? Open ending. Are you kidding me? More like fucking cliffhanger. So yes, let's talk about the so-called open ending. It wasn't an open ending, alright? It was a cliffhanger. Let's be honest. Open ending doesn't end like that. Open ending means that everything is resolved. Everything within the story is resolved enough, but the ending is ambiguous. That is a very good open ending. Everything within the story, everything is answered. A to Z square. Everything is answered, but the ending is left ambiguous. What I can think of a good open ending is Inception. The whole goddamn spinning thingy. Was it falling? Was it not? And honestly, did it matter? Not really. But good open ending. What else? American Psycho. That's a good open ending. It was ambiguous. Was he crazy, or did he really kill those people? Good ending. Another good ending. Old Boy, the Korean version. The ending was that he wanted, his memories to be wiped so he doesn't remember that he was having an affair or having a relationship with his own daughter. But towards the end, you can see that he was smiling because he's happy to see his girlfriend/daughter. But then he started crying. So you start to think, did he start to remember, his past? Open ending. Another good open ending. Memento. Another good open ending. Gone Girl. Those for me are good open endings. It's like everything within the story and the context of it is completely answered, but it leaves you with thoughts of like, shit, what's gonna happen now, But what I got from the book Kapal Terakhir di Dunia is a cliffhanger, because what we got was, is the revolution going to start? Who is going to lead the revolution? I know, like, if I list it off, it's going to sound like it's an open ending, but it's not. It's a cliffhanger, because then you're kind of like wanting to know, okay, is there going to be a sequel or some shit or not? Because I'm not getting answers for things that are happening in this book. For example, things that happen in the third book. What happened to Vanessa and Arya, right? Don't know. Where did Aura get, or no, the technology to reverse, to reverse shock victims of Bokor's upbringing, because some of the people or some of the helpers in the Aras Atas are actually people from the lower Aras who managed to get up to Aras Atas. They become like the new maids, I suppose, but for them they get brainwashed. So I want to know, how did Aura get the technology to, you know, reverse brainwash or reverse their memories, something like that. And then how did Kona, I don't know, the anak of that the leader of Sector Biru, Korra, never mind, how did whoever his name is get Pakatan Matahari up and running again? And I know I'm not making sense in this review, but the story doesn't make sense either, to be quite honest with you. And this is not about the review, but I just realized that, you know, the, what do you call it? My eyeliner actually matches the book. Purple blue, purple blue. Okay, so what else do I need to talk about? Oh yeah, I need to retract back a statement. Okay, in the first review, I said that the book should be a duology. I retract back my statement. I guess it as a trilogy it works. I retract back that statement, but I maintain the statement that the pacing of the book ruined the book. Yeah, I maintain that statement. And some of the statements that I made in the first book, such as I feel like the author was being sexist, it's answered in the third book, to be quite honest with you. So I retract back that statement that he is sexist. He's not sexist. It was explained in the third book why the mothers or the women who gave birth to defect babies are killed. It turns out that the leader of the Manusia Aras Atas just wanted to have some sex dolls, basically. So, you know, sometimes they get pregnant and he's like, oh, all right, kill them. You know, shit happens. I don't know. This book just frustrates me. Although I have to say, Niha has a really good backstory in the third book, so points to that. I actually forgot to say what was my review. This is 2 out of 5, by the way. Niha has a really good backstory in the third book, and it turns out she used to be like a sex slave for the Ketua Aras Atas, forgot his name, and she actually gave birth to 2 kids. So I'm thinking, or was it explained? But I think Vanessa is Niha's kid. Actually, now that I think about it, I can't remember actually. But yeah, she has a really good backstory. Overall, I would say that this trilogy wasn't good. The pacing was out of whack. The plot, and the thing that annoys me the most, right, about this trilogy is not... It's the promise, you know? It had potential. The trilogy had potential, and that annoys me the most. Because the potential was there, the execution was shit. And had the editors been better at it, I'm just gonna call them out. Had the editors just been better at it, or the editing section just be better at it, I think the book would have been great. All three, I can't even speak. All 3 of them would have been great had the editors just did their job, basically. Because the promise and the potential of the book was there. The characters was there. Like, Vuk was a really interesting characters. I really, really like his characterization in the third book. It's really, really good. And it kind of hurts me because when I see the characterization of Vuk, who is so great, in my mind, he's a really good character. I cried for him. I actually felt some sort of emotion other than hate and anger in this book. For Vuk, you know? And then my standards for Vuk is here. And then you expect me to read Arya's perspective, which is here. You don't think I'm gonna lose my shit. But basically, you get what I'm saying. It's like, you've read a good character, you've read a good character arc, a good progress in story, and then suddenly you have to go back to the old shitty one. It just really pisses you off. So that's what really annoys me about this trilogy. It's like the potential is there, the execution was not. And had the editors just basically did their job, I think this trilogy could have been better. Yes. It wouldn't have been great, but at least better than what we have now. And another thing, now that I remember about it, another thing is I don't understand how Vanessa could be so selfish. Actually, I do. She was born in privilege, so she probably thought it was normal, you know? Like, she was, it was nice to see a different perspective in terms of Vanessa's perspective as well as Arya's perspective regarding a shark. Because Vanessa has a pet shark, but she calls it her family, Boya, I think. So Boya is this shark, which is her pet, and she really loves it. She thinks it's cute. She thinks it's friendly. And then on Arya's perspective, he doesn't like sharks because to him, sharks are the ones that killed people from Aras Biru because they are fishermen. And he just is weirded out by Vanessa loving this shark more than she loves people from Aras Biru. And it's nice to see the dichotomy and the difference in that. And I wish that the author could have been better in executing that type of plot, because I feel like that's good. But the thing is, I don't know what he was trying to do with this book. I'm losing my mind, basically. This is not a very good review. I'm losing my mind. I should have just reviewed it the moment I finished it, because now I forgot all about it. It's all over the place, so yeah. This is the best I'm gonna give you because I don't think I can be bothered. I cannot speak. But yeah, this is the best I can give you because I don't think I can be bothered enough to do a better review a second time. So, the overall, basically the spark notes of my weird ass random rant review is book 2 was great, 3 out of 5. Pacing was good. Characterization was good. Plot was good. I would say average, hence 3 out of 5. The third book, Kapal Terakhir di Dunia, episode 3, hated it, 2 out of 5. Pacing was shit. Characters were shit. Plot execution was shit. Open ending, what? No. Overall, book 1 to 3, I would rate the trilogy as a 2 out of 5. Because first book, shit. Second book, average. Third book, shit. So yes, that is the spark notes of my review. I hope you enjoyed this video, even though I was rambling incessantly, and I apologize for that. Yeah, I guess I'll see you in the next video. Give me comments or like give me suggestions on how I should do my eyeliner in the next video. I'm thinking like flowers. Maybe not. Maybe yes. I don't know. So yeah, see you in the next video. Click like and subscribe if you want to. If you don't, I don't really care. Okay, bye.